Hey, it's Organic A to Z. I am your host, Gregory Schaefer, and today we're gonna battle the letter Q. Now, we did not have a hard time finding a food that begins with Q. In fact, we found a superfood. That's right, my friends. It's quinoa time. Quinoa's been grown in the Andes for thousands of years, and the Incas called it the mother grain. They knew what they were talking about. This is really healthy stuff. It has all of the amino acids that humans need. The protein is as good as dairies, so vegans, take note. You should be eating your quinoa. Plus, there's vitamins and minerals. It's got B6 and niacin. It's got zinc and copper, manganese. Really good for you. It grows all over the world. It grows in tough conditions, so it's feeding the world. It's almost always organic. I've never seen non-organic quinoa. It cooks really easily. It's absolutely delicious. Why are you not eating quinoa? Well, like I said, cooking quinoa is very easy. But how do you get it going from this to this? Well, it's a lot like cooking rice. But the first thing you have to do is wash your quinoa. You've got to rinse it really well. So put it in a strainer and give it at least 3 good rinses and scrubs. There you go. Then you just put 1 part quinoa and 2 parts water into a pot, bring it up to boil, put the heat on low, cover it with a lid, and give it about 15 minutes. And voila, you've got cooked quinoa. Now, it's absolutely delicious by itself. It's a little bit grassy, a little bit nutty. I love it. You can flavor it very easily as if it were rice or pasta. It's a wonderful grain. But what? What can you do with leftover quinoa? Let's make quinoa cakes. 1½ cups of quinoa, and we're gonna add to that 1 beaten egg. Very cool, and just stir it up. And I'm gonna add to that about 2 teaspoons of sun-dried tomatoes chopped up. And we're gonna add in about 1/3 cup of cheese. This is a goat's milk feta. And I've also got some basil, just, I don't know, maybe 1/4 cup there. Just tear that up a bit. Great stuff. And the last thing I'm gonna add is the zest of a lemon. Remember we did this on the lemon episode? Mix it up really well. And then we're gonna pan fry it. So I've got a pan heated on high, and I've coated it with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna take a 1/3 cup scoop of the batter and put it down there, flatten it out with your hand or a spatula, and give it about 4 minutes on each side. So there we go, we've got the savory quinoa cake. Now make sure you hit this with a fair amount of salt and some pepper. I forgot to add that earlier. Delicious, great for lunch or dinner. Now for dessert, let's make a sweet quinoa cake. It's the same thing again. I've got 1½ cups of cooked quinoa right here. And I'm gonna add to that 1 beaten egg. And you'll notice when you do this that after a couple of minutes, the quinoa and the egg really form a nice batter. They kind of bind together. It's very gooey and delicious. Okay, to that, we are gonna add some chopped nuts. That's almonds, some brown sugar, and a good amount of berries. I have both blackberries and some strawberries here. And again, just mix it up like we did before. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Add a couple of good pinches of cinnamon. All right, so take a 1/3 cup scoop, plop it into your hot pan that's got a little olive oil in it. Give it a good 4 minutes on each side. You might want to turn the heat down to medium-high. Keep an eye on it. The goal here is to get a nice sear on both edges of the cake. You want the quinoa to crisp up. It's so good. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes on the first side. I'm going to flip it really carefully. And don't worry if it breaks apart. You just sort of push it all back together. Give it another 3 or 4 minutes, and it's done. Hey, so there we have it, the superfood, the mother of all grains, none other than quinoa. We did quinoa 3 ways. We did regular plain old quinoa, Great stuff. And then we made 2 different kinds of quinoa cakes. We did a savory quinoa cake with basil, sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of lemon zest, and some cheese. And we also did a sweet quinoa cake with berries, almonds, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Absolutely delicious stuff. Hey, I'm Gregory Schaefer, and this is Organic A to Z. Thank you for cooking quinoa with us today. We'll see you next time.